This is Augustana Sportscene, a weekly update on Viking athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Now, let's catch up on the action and excitement of Augustana athletics as we roll our Augustana Sports Update for this week.
Last weekend, Coach Brandon Barkas's Augustana women's soccer team pushed their record to 7-1 overall and 5-0 in the NSIC as they defeated Bemidji State 2-1 in overtime and Minnesota Crookston 2-0. The Vikings have now won 7 games in a row as they are off to their best start in school history. In the Bemidji victory, Stephanie Stevens scored the winning goal off an assist from Katie Hurd. Marin Worth also kicked in a goal for Augustana. Then against Crookston, Julie Reinsness and Katie Hurd scored goals for the Vikings. Ashley Limmer was in goal for both games as she notched 9 saves. In volleyball, Coach Ashley Buckley's team moved their record to 11-2 overall and 3-2 in the NSIC as they rolled to wins over Wayne State, Mary, and Minot State. In the victory at number 7 Wayne State, Holly Halfmeyer smashed 19 kills with Courtney Yisker pounding down 10 kills and rooting up 22 digs. Setter Marissa Johnson got the ball to the hitters as she dished out 42 assists. Then in the home win against Mary, Kelsey Kaufman recorded 11 kills with Kayla Walrick leading the way with 14 digs. And in the final victory of the week over Minot State, Holly Halfmeyer notched 12 kills with Courtney Yisker adding 10 kills to go along with 10 digs. Taylor Herdlichka stepped up big at the net as she paced the Vikings with 11 blocks. In football, Coach Jerry Yashevsky's team fell 31-6 on the road at St. Cloud State. 5 turnovers plagued Augustana as the Huskies had 4 interceptions and a fumble recovery for a touchdown. Quarterback Trey Hyde completed 16 of 25 passes, including a touchdown toss to Grant Gebhardt. Grant caught a total of 6 passes for 50 yards, with Noah Heisman adding 3 pass receptions for 55 yards. Defensive leaders for the Vikings were Thomas Vanasek and Ben Skelly with 9 tackles each. Brandon Moore added 7 tackles, while Justin Brown had an interception. And in cross country, Coach Tracy Hellman's men's and women's teams both won championships at the Roy Griak Invitational held at the University of Minnesota. Runa Falk led the way for the Augustana ladies as she set a course record in a 6,000-meter time of 21 minutes, 34 3/10 seconds. Kristen Brownbow was next in line for the ladies in the 33-team women's field. The Viking men were led by Paul Yak and Adam Braun, who finished 2-3 in the 40-team men's field. In national rankings released last week, the Augustana ladies were ranked number 3, while the men checked in at number 6. That's our sports update for this week. When we come back, we'll talk Augustana football with Coach Jerry Yashevsky. Stay with us.
Augustana Sportscene is brought to you by Sanford Health, improving the human condition, and by Mid-Continent Communications, the connection that counts. Augustana Sportscene is also brought to you by Life Touch, photography for a lifetime, and by Graham Automotive, real service, real value.
Combine Mid-Co-Net Extreme Wideband, the region's fastest internet, and Mid-Continent Video with TV everywhere, and take shows you normally watch here and watch them anywhere, anytime. So turn your tablet into a TV, take CNN with you, catch the Cartoon Network up here. Turn any screen in the house into a Mid-Continent screen. Mid-Continent Video with TV everywhere and the flawless streaming performance of Mid-Co-Net Extreme Wideband make Mid-Continent the connection that counts.
Whether you're in pain on Friday or get hurt on Saturday, injuries can happen any day of the week. Now you can walk right in for expert care at Sanford Orthopedic Fast Track. We're the first to offer a walk-in clinic at 4 convenient locations, 7 days a week with evening hours. Call 605-328-2663. Expert care when you need it. Sanford Orthopedic Fast Track.
Audi A4 drivers have spoken. And they rank the A4 highest in total quality index in its class. Experience the new Audi A4 at your local dealer today.
Hi everybody, I'm Bill Gross, and with me right now is Coach Jerry Oshevsky of the Augustana Vikings football team. Last Saturday, Augustana took the road up to St. Cloud against a very strong, undefeated, experienced team, and Coach, it was a good ball game, but we came out on the short end.
Yeah, it was a great ball game. Going into halftime, it's a 7-0 ball game, and we certainly had opportunities to change that. Field position was good. We marched the ball inside the 23 times, and unfortunately our kicker was injured, so those turned into fourth down scenarios rather than kicking opportunities. But really proud of how our defense played in the first half. Halftime adjustments, they made some, we made some. I liked our offensive adjustments. We had a 50-yard drive and a 70-yard drive and scored, and but only touched the ball 3 times in the second half because they made some adjustments too and had some 8-minute drives and scored every time they touched the ball. Too many turnovers, and we're going to address that. Our young quarterback got exposed to 3 All-Americans, and but I'm really pleased, and I have to stay positive because I saw some great things and learning that are going on. And I think we're going to be all right. Well,
it's a step at a time, and let's take a little closer look at the ball game. Let's start first with probably the bright spot of the game, the defense.
Yeah, absolutely. A very experienced quarterback with all senior wide receivers coming back, pretty young offensive line, but I thought our defense answered the bell incredibly well. We didn't get as many turnovers as we had hoped, but certainly stopped them and only allowed 7 points at halftime, and they had to go a long field all but one time. So I just continue to be pleased with our defensive play and how our kids are addressing the ball and attacking it. We're attacking well and tackling well.
Okay, well, let's go over to offense.
Yeah, and some good things happen on offense. That's a very senior-laden defense as well, and they want to heat us up, and they got to us. I love their game plan, and we're getting there. We're one step away from truly just blowing it up with some of these young kids that are starting to understand what we're asking, and showed glimpses of it at various times. We're just continue to break down at the wrong times. We'll get a 50-yard drive, and that 30-yard line seems to have a vapor barrier on it, and we break down right about there. But with that said, I understand too, watching tape with them yesterday, that they're working hard. I thought our kids competed incredibly. I mean, it was a playoff type atmosphere of competition and old NCC, if you will, and I loved it, and we're coming close to getting it right.
Well, the Vikings had some bright spots on offense, and in particular, it was good to see Grant Gebhardt get back in there and catch the ball.
Yeah, Grant's finally healthy. He's got that burst back again, and his hamstring is fully healed, so it was great to see Grant become a critical part of our offense because we needed him, and he played pretty large in this football game. Their corners are really, really good football players, which put Grant on the best matchup against the slots and safeties. So that's where we went with football, and one drive too short.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Well, special teams.
We held our own. We didn't have the big play on special teams. I don't think we played poorly in any way, shape, or form. We were just steady. With our, Lucas's injury, that kind of changed a little bit of the things we were going to do and how we were going to do it. But I thought Gabe Dunn did a phenomenal job. In fact, he got our special teams player of the week, stepping up in that role 2 minutes before game time. Yeah. So I'm really pleased with our special teams, and again, that continues to be a victory for us week after next.
Well, the Vikings back home, Kirkby Over Stadium, 1 o'clock Saturday afternoon. Wayne State comes to town, and should be a good ball game, Coach.
Yeah, and Wayne, defensively, Wayne's going to come after you. Coach Aldrich is an aggressive coordinator and loves pressure, and we got to prepare for that, just like we have every other week. They have some talent as well. They like their safety. They're big on the defensive line. Offensively, they got some good skill positions. They really do. They'll max it up for the quarterback, and they're going to throw it deep. So it should be a great ball game. It really is going to be a time of possession, first down, who scores when they're in the red zone type game.
Well, Coach, it's back home. Fans, get over to KO Saturday, 1 o'clock. Big game against Wayne State. Good luck, OJ.
Thank you.
I was nervous for picture day. My mom let me pick out my outfit. She said, pick wisely. I stood in line with my friends, and then it was my turn.
Next.
There were big lights and a backdrop, and the picture lady said, wow, nice smile. And then there was this poof. I really like my picture.
Have you noticed more and more fees showing up in your account with your bank? Take a look at your statement. You may be surprised. At Sioux Empire Federal Credit Union, the only surprise you'll find is how few fees there are. Imagine applying for your next loan or setting up your account with the peace of mind that as a member owner, You call the shots, including what fees to charge. So why let extra banking fees gobble up your money? Get your account and your loan from the place you own.
Sioux Empire Federal Credit Union, federally insured by NCUA.
Childhood cancer has a name and a face. Luxury Auto Mall of Sioux Falls and Children's Miracle Network at Sanford Children's Hospital ask you to join us in fighting this disease. Be bold, wear gold, because no kid fights alone.
We're back, and with me now is Augustana volleyball coach Ashley Buckley. Ashley, what a difference a week makes. Last week at this time, the Vikings were coming off a couple of tough defeats, and a big week last week. It started out on the road at Wayne State, at that time the number 7 team in the nation, and the Vikings stuck it to them with a 3-0 win. Tremendous victory.
It was an exciting atmosphere to play in. I was excited with how we came out playing the first couple of points of the set. It was close till about 20s, and then we took off. Second set, we won 25-10, and then the third set, again, we were in great control. So I was excited with our side-out percentage. It was where it needed to be. I was really happy with our defensive execution. I thought we blocked really well at the net and channeled their hitters to our defense. And I thought we were a lot better on the end line serving. So the things that we knew we needed to be better at, I thought we executed really well. Well,
a tremendous victory for the Vikings down at Wayne. And then it was back home for 2 NSIC matches. University of Mary on Friday night, Minot State Saturday afternoon. 2 matches, 2 wins.
Yeah, it was exciting to get back home on Friday night and play Mary. I thought we came out and were excited to play again. We did really well. Served aggressive, we were good at a serve receive. Again, I thought we got consistent performances offensively. Holly Halfmeyer was great. Courtney Yisker on the outside was really strong and aggressive. And Kelsey Kaufman also played fantastic on Friday night. I think she had a career high kills per set. So we were happy with that performance, and then we came back and played Minot on Saturday. I thought we looked tired from the get-go. We didn't have a ton of urgency on our side of the net. Lost the first set, came back and won the next 3. So we were happy to get out of our gym with a win. They played hard, they played well, their outsides did really well against us. But nevertheless, the goal in this league is to win, and so we found a way to do that.
Well, you mentioned a number of the players that stood out, and some others I know that had strong matches. Marissa Johnson has been leading Division II in assists. She continues to play well. Brittany Check. And then also Taylor Herdlichka had 11 blocks against Minot, so maybe talk about those ladies.
Yeah, she did great. I thought that Taylor, although she didn't have a ton of points for us on offense, she closed the end of the games for us. She was up at the net, she was available for Marissa to set her, and she scored some points. So at key times, she really stepped up, and we outblocked them 16-6 in 4 sets. That's a lot, and so we were excited about her performance at the net there. But overall, at a serve receive, we were slightly more inconsistent than we ever want to be. But what you hope is that your kids will step up, and I thought that, again, Taylor Herdlichka did a nice job of that. Holly Halfmeyer led us in kills. And from there, everybody, just fought hard, and they figured out a way to win.
Well, at the top of the heap in the Northern Sun, you've got the typical suspects here in Concordia, St. Paul, Minnesota, Duluth, and Southwest. And a big match last week, and Concordia beat Duluth.
Yeah, in 5 sets. It was a close match. Duluth was up 2-1, and Concordia, in their usual fashion, came back and fought hard. That's what I love about this league, is that those top teams know that they're going to be playing tough opponents, but they find ways to stick it out for an entire match, and that's typical of Concordia, to figure out a way to win at the very end, even if they're down a set or 2. So it was a close one. I think that that matchup again will be one of the best in the country.
Well, the Vikings are 11-2 right now, 3-2 in the NSIC, in the thick of things. And this weekend, it's back on the road. Starts out Friday night at Northern, and then Saturday on to MSU Moorhead.
Yeah, this is going to be a traditionally really challenging weekend for us. Typically, when we play Northern and Moorhead, they play well against us. We know that our players like playing against them too. So, Northern, when we look at them, they've got a really dynamic right side right now. That we need to figure out how to slow down at the net. We need to play a quick transition game, and that's the key to our success, is making sure that we have offensive options and opportunities to score one-on-one. So, you know, the key for us this weekend will be focusing on our side of the net and execution. And that's what we did against Wayne successfully, is we walked away feeling like we had done what we could on our side of the net. So we'll prepare them hard this week. It should be a really tough battle on the road.
Well, good luck, Ashley, to you and your team. When we come back, we'll catch up with a guy who's on a roll right now, our soccer coach, Brandon Barkas. Stay with us.
At Mid-Continent, we believe in going the extra mile for you, making sure your questions are answered, getting every job done right the first time. Why do Mid-Continent Communications employees go out of their way for customers? Because that's how you'd treat a friend or neighbor. And to us, that's exactly what you are. Mid-Continent Communications, the connection that counts.
Audi A4 drivers have spoken. And they rank the A4 highest in Total Quality Index in its class. Experience the new Audi A4 at your local dealer today.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
How do you hold a moment? Keep friends and family close. Witness the passage of time. Replay the glory days. Relive magical nights. Create memories to share. How do you capture a lifetime? One picture at a time. Life Touch. Photography for a lifetime.
Childhood cancer has a name and a face. Luxury Auto Mall of Sioux Falls and Children's Miracle Network at Sanford Children's Hospital ask you to join us in fighting this disease. Be bold, wear gold, because no kid fights alone.
Combine Mid-Co-Net Extreme Wideband, the region's fastest internet, and Mid-Continent video with TV everywhere, and take shows you normally watch here and watch them anywhere, anytime. So turn your tablet into a TV, take CNN with you, catch the Cartoon Network up here. Turn any screen in the house into a Mid-Continent screen. Mid-Continent video with TV everywhere and the flawless streaming performance of Mid-Co-Net Extreme Wideband make Mid-Continent the connection that counts.
Joining me now is Augustana women's soccer coach Brandon Barkas. Coach Barkas, you have been drinking the right kind of water along with your team here. The Vikings are having a great season after a defeat to begin the year, a close defeat. They've won 7 in a row, undefeated in the NSIC at 5-0, and it has been a spectacular start, Coach. Your thoughts?
Yeah, it's really been great. You know, we're a little more mature this year, and that's been pretty exciting. And we've been relatively healthy, and that's been pretty exciting. We have a young woman, Katie Hurd, our number 22 in the middle of midfield. She has been out the last 2 years, and she's back now. Mm-hmm. And yeah, she's just been awesome.
Yeah, and a lot of other contributions. What's been impressive, Coach, is the number of players who have either scored goals, had assists, made a defensive play, you know, goalkeeper play. It's kind of all, it's been a team effort.
It really has. You know, we only brought in 3 freshmen this year, so it's not like we're, you know, starting a bunch of new players. We're kind of the same teams we were last year. And I feel like we were a really good team last year. We just struggled scoring goals. And this year with Kara Bartles and Katie Hurd in the middle midfield, they've just been great, anchoring it and working, and their workman's attitude's been terrific. And then up top, Maureen Worth scored 6 goals. Last year she had to play in the back because of an injury, and this year she's back up top, and she's been great. Alicia Ollerking, 3 goals, 3 assists, have been just terrific. You know, and then the back, you know, Maria Cook, unfortunately, as I talk about not having injuries, went down with an ACL about a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, and that's been kind of devastating. But Caroline Renner stepped in and done a really nice job as a sophomore, and then Liz Bunkers, can't say enough. She's just been incredible, and Ashley Limmer's been great in the back and goal, and Emily Hanneman and Ellie Westermeyer kind of round out our backs, and it's been, again, kind of the same team, but we've been a little more hungry. We've kind of been going half by half. The whole theme this year, as I said in my pre-interview with Jeff Turn and with Matt Zimmer early on, is that we're not going to get too high and we're not going to get too low. We're just going to take it game by game, and that's kind of a Dave Krauth thing.
There you go.
And he's the man when it comes to having success. So you got to kind of copy and steal some ideas sometimes, and that's really what we're doing. I mean, and the girls, it's been really fun. It's been really fun.
Well, it has been fun, and the Vikings are coming now, have had 4 straight home games. We won all 4 of them. Probably the toughest win of the bunch was against a very good Bemidji team.
Oh, they're
last
awesome.
Friday.
Yeah, they're really, really good. And Bemidji always kind of sneaks into the postseason tournament as a 3 or 4 seed, and they get to host a game. And Coach Stone just does a wonderful job of getting those girls prepared, really organized. They match up very similar to us. A very strong possession-oriented team, but knows how to take some chances in the attacking third. And for us to come away with an overtime win was really big. Second overtime win of the season for us, and that's kind of a little difference. Last year we would lose those games or tie those really tight games, and this year we're winning. So it's been really, really great. Really great.
Well, the Vikings, as we mentioned here, 7-1 overall, 5-0 in the NSIC. This weekend we're on the road again after having 4 at home, up to St. Cloud State and Duluth. Your thoughts on the games?
There'll be battles. Every conference game is really a dogfight, and St. Cloud has kind of had a number the last couple years. I expect Coach McCabe Heiberger to really have her team organized. Their place is a tough place to play on turf, and we're a grass field team, and I know they'll be ready. And then Duluth, same thing. It's always tough at Duluth. That wind off the lake there at the football stadium. It's going to be chilly. I think it's going to be a little rainy. And they've had a good start to the year too. And so I feel like we're just going to take it game by game. We're going to run some fitness today and see if we can't train hard this week and be ready to go. And if we can, maybe get an early goal or jump on them earlier. We got to fight. You just got to fight.
Yep. So. Well, the Vikings undefeated in the conference. For those of you who don't know, it's a 15-game schedule. You play each of the teams one time, and so every game is really important. Coach, who do you look at as being the top teams in the conference?
Well, right now, actually, Southwest Minnesota State. I think they're a little surprising like us. They might have been preseason voted like 9th or 10th. We were preseason voted 8th. They're off to a great start. I think they're 8-0 overall, 5-0 in the conference. They're really strong. Duluth is always, of course, really strong. Mankato's, 5-0 in conference play right now as well, and they're having a good year, like always. I think they're 6th in the nation. Southwest is 18th in the nation. So, and we might even be getting some looks as a 7-1 team. But, those are kind of the teams. I think, you can't overlook, a St. Cloud. You can't overlook Winona is always great. And Upper Iowa had an unbelievable year last year, and they've got a Division I transfer, Amy Ronsky, that's scoring a lot of goals and leading the conference. And every team. Even like Crookston, who is a team that's typically kind of at the bottom. Last year we outshot them 33-2, and we tied 0-0 because they just kind of put up a wall and just really made it difficult. And every game's tough. In our conference, as you know, with women's soccer being a mandatory sport, I think every school is making more of a commitment to give schools scholarships and operating budget, and it's and coaches know that they've got to win, and that's kind of the thing this year is that we come into this year and I need to win. The girls as seniors, they're disappointed in the 6-10-2 record last year. And I had a conversation with them last night, and some of them were like, "We're so mad. How could we be so bad last year?" And this is kind of what our expectations are. But we're not going to get too high.
Yep.
We're happy with our season, but we still got a lot of work to do. 10 more games, all conference games, and we've got to get to work. So that's the deal. Yeah.
Well, Coach, it's a fantastic start. Just keep going one half at a time and things will go well. We'll be right back with our Augustana sports calendar.
Midconet Extreme Wideband. 3 levels of extremely fast connections with exceptional capacity to choose from. Extreme 1.0. Exciting speeds that start out faster than anyone in the region. Extreme 2.0. Exhilarating speed for gaming or streaming. Extreme 3.0. Extraordinary speed for the whole house. It's among the nation's fastest. 3 extreme speeds. Only from Midconnet Extreme Wideband.
Build your own bundle and save today. xisnext.com.
Exceeding expectations. Getting better every day. It doesn't happen by chance. Preparation pays off. So the only question to ask yourself is, am I better today than I was yesterday? Exceed yesterday. Choose Sanford Orthopedics and Sports Medicine.
Audi A4 drivers have spoken. And they rank the A4 highest in total quality index in its class. Experience the new Audi A4 at your local dealer today.
Childhood cancer has a name and a face. Luxury Auto Mall of Sioux Falls and Children's Miracle Network at Sanford Children's Hospital ask you to join us in fighting this disease. Be bold, wear gold, because no kid fights alone.
How do you hold a moment? Keep friends and family close. Witness the passage of time. Replay the glory days. Relive magical nights. Create memories to share. How do you capture a lifetime? One picture at a time. Life Touch. Photography for a lifetime.
Let's take a look at the Augustana sports calendar for this week. Friday, October 4th, volleyball on the road at Northern State in Aberdeen. And women's golf competes in the NSIC Fall Championships in Brainerd, Minnesota. Women's soccer also on the road at St. Cloud State. Saturday, October 5th, cross country is at the University of Arkansas Invitational in Fayetteville, Arkansas. Volleyball on the road at MSU Moorhead, and women's golf continues play in the NSIC Championships. And the Augustana football team is back home for a big NSIC game with Wayne State. Kickoff is at 1 p.m. at Kirkaby-Over Stadium. Sunday, October 6th, women's soccer is at Minnesota Duluth, and women's golf finishes play in the NSIC Championships. And remember this Augustana athletic information. You can hear all Augustana football games on KIKN FM 100.5 and worldwide at KIKN.com. And for complete information on Augustana athletics, go to our website, GoAugie.com, where you can also get discount tickets for athletic events at GoAugie.com/tickets. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again next week for another edition of Augustana Sports Scene. So long, everybody.
You have been watching Augustana Sports Scene, a weekly review of Viking athletics at South Dakota's largest private college. Learn more about Augustana College in Sioux Falls at augie.edu.